Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. We've got a packed show today. Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed, live from Los Angeles. I'm Alex Curry here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Guys, it seems already like it is a beautiful Monday morning for the two of you.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Somebody put some socks on, because it stinks over here.
Skip, let me celebrate. This is our moment. We got a new neighbor. You should be applauding we got a new neighbor. You should be happy.
Are you happy that LeBron will never again win another championship?
But you won't bet nothing.
Oh, I will bet. All the dude that you owe me.
Thing on that.
You owe me 11 cases of Diet Mountain Dew, and I'll bet them all on that right here, right now.
Skip, let me tell you a little something right now between you and I.
Yeah.
Once he win this title, I don't ever want to hear you mention GOAT again. I don't want to hear nothing about no GOAT, no Curry GOAT, no type of GOAT.
Yeah.
It will be over.
You need scapegoats. That's all you need.
How did you enjoy your vacation?
How are you?
Alex, how you doing?
You
look
too long.
lovely.
Yeah.
Oh,
How are you?
It's been far too long.
Wow, I feel special.
Oh, my God.
LA native, LeBron's coming to the Lakers.
Yeah.
I get to fill in today.
I'm not doing that.
I'm feeling pumped.
You
It's
get
okay.
No fist bump from me.
I'll get no fist bump. What about your boy?
What about your glasses? You got to get your real glasses on. I want to see the real shade. There we go. Now he's back.
Oh, now you're
back. How are you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
All right.
Here we go.
Guys, we have to start today with LeBron. The speculation is over. LeBron is going to be a Laker. He agreed to a 4-year deal for nearly $154 million to take his talents to LA. ESPN reports Magic Johnson met with LeBron as soon as free agency started in one of his homes here in Los Angeles. The Lakers also agreed to deals with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, JaVale McGee, and LeBron's nemesis, Lance Stevenson. Shannon, did LeBron make the right choice?
He made the only move he can make, Skip. I know over the last couple of years they've been on lean in very hard times, but this is the Lakers. This is one of the 2 most storied franchises, 3 most storied. If you think about the Knicks, although they haven't won anything, they do play in the Garden, Madison Square Garden. So they're one of the 3 most storied franchises in all the NBA,
give you that.
along with the Celtics. Celtics, Lakers, Knicks. This was really the only move that LeBron could make. Because if you go back in time, you think about all the great transcendent players, Kareem, Shaq. When you take LeBron James, who's still playing at his absolute best.
Wait, you left out Magic. Put Magic.
But Magic got drafted there. I'm talking about to make the move.
To make the move.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
To make the move. Yeah, to make the move.
Yeah.
These guys, Kareem left in his prime. Shaq left in his prime.
He did.
And you're looking at year 15, you're like, well, LeBron is past his prime. No, he's not. He's still got a number of great years to go.
As a one-way player, but go ahead.
Don't stop, Skip. Let me have my. Why you keep interrupting me? This is not your turn. This is my time. Let me shine.
Go.
Normally, Skip, let's put this in a football term. Normally, when a team breaks the huddle, they know the play they want to run.
Yep.
Skip, when they broke that huddle on that island, Maverick Carter, Richie Paul, LeBron James, his wife, and whomever, maybe it was 5 or 6 guys, when they broke that huddle, they knew they were coming to the Lakers.
They did.
It didn't matter who was coming or who was going. It didn't matter what Paul George had done. It didn't matter what the Sixers could offer. It didn't matter whom else might be coming to join him in L.A. When they broke that huddle, the play they called, Lakers on 1. And that's what they did. I'm surprised that we thought it's going to happen it's going to happen after the 4th.
Yep.
Skip, LeBron normally draws this thing out. He wasn't no decision. It wasn't no letter to Lee Jenkins in Sports Illustrated, although Lee did a great job of writing LeBron's story of going home. Skip, this was the only move that he could make, and it's the best move. Now, LeBron James got a couple of everybody. I didn't like LeBron, but I'm a LeBron fan. Now I know what you've been talking about.
Oh, now they know.
Yeah.
Oh, it took all this time?
All this time. Now everybody, you lucky. I went to the movie yesterday and I saw Sicario.
I saw it Friday.
Had I not been in the movies, I would have got me a Lakers jersey.
Really?
Yes, I would have. I'd have been out here today with a Lakers jersey on with no suit on. I promise you that. So tomorrow, that's what's going to happen.
I didn't like the end of Sicario, but that's just me.
It's pretty good.
But they set up number 3. So, you finished?
I finished.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say today, that I do love the city of Cleveland. Every time I visited, I have loved it more and more. And I do care about those sports fans in Cleveland because they are true blue sports fans. They were so loyal to LeBron. I know they burned jerseys when he left because he left so badly the first time, but he came back greatly in spite of that owner who just condemned him when he left the first time. And yet, even though he did leave them with a championship legacy, he won the one championship, I do feel sorry for them today because I thought maybe in the very back of my mind that LeBron would say, you know what, I just got to tough this out. I got to finish it at home in Northeast Ohio. I thought maybe that would be the feel-good story of all this, right?
But you and I heard, Skip, now if you and I heard that Dan Gilbert would not be terribly disappointed if LeBron left because he wanted his team back, if you and I were hearing that, what do you think he was hearing?
I'm sure he was hearing that, and I do not condemn him for all that. I'm just saying I feel sorrow for those fans because they got left again pretty high and pretty dry.
And they'll never get another one of those.
No, they'll never get that back. I mean, who knows if they'll ever win a championship again.
You're not going to get a player of that caliber.
I would agree with that. The odds are against you getting that guy again.
Yes.
Now to the Lakers. I said from the start, I can't take anything away from LeBron's choice here because he was born to be a Los Angeles Laker. He was born to finish in Showtime in purple and gold because it just fits him. When I saw him in the jersey last night to see him there, it just looks right to me. I can't argue with it. It looks like he was born to play for the man whose game he most compared to.
Correct.
He was Magic. He was never Michael Jordan. He was Magic Johnson. So how cool is it? He's probably going to finish his career playing under the man who is not his mentor, but I think it was his idol.
Yes.
I think that was the man he most looked up to, whose game he most looked up to, right?
You're right.
Okay? And obviously, his next career is in Hollywood. So now he's segueing into his next career. He's got 1 foot out and 1 foot in, but again, not that he won't play great offense next year, but as he nears the end of his career, he's already in Hollywood. His family loves it here. They've got the 2 houses. I assume the 2 houses, one could be for his mom. I don't know, like for an extended family. Yeah, that's correct. Or her parents. That's exactly right. So I get all of that. But to your point, it was Lakers on one so strongly that LeBron was willing to become a Laker with no contingencies.
No.
I thought he might wait to see, okay, who's going to join me?
Right.
Well, guess what? Kevin Durant said no, and I'm pretty sure LeBron at least checked in through back channels.
Yeah, you got to kick the tires to see.
You got to just check it out. And Kevin said no. I'm going to recommit for only 1 year in Golden State because I want to see how it works for you in Los Angeles.
Right.
And maybe, just maybe, I'll join you there after next year, right? But we're not finished in Golden State. And then Paul George shocked the world by saying no to LeBron James, basically on Saturday night when at a party at a lake outside Oklahoma City, he announces with Russell Westbrook up on stage, nope, I'm staying in Oklahoma City. And all of a sudden, the Kawhi Leonard deal starts to look a little murkier because they just went boom, boom, boom and added 3 vets last night with KCP first and then JaVale and obviously Lance Stevenson. And it's starting to look like LeBron is prepared to go this alone next year, at least for 1 year, right?
Yes. He made his, Skip, when they broke that huddle, he had made his decision. I'm going to L.A. It doesn't matter if Paul comes. It doesn't matter if they can trade for Kawhi. It doesn't matter whomever they might get. I'm going to L.A. It also dispels the myth. LeBron is not going to the Lakers because he doesn't want to play in the West. He's scared of the West. LeBron James says, not only am I unafraid of the West, I will go to the Lakers with not a second guy guaranteed.
No guarantees. Nothing in stone. And it's starting to feel like, again, salary cap-wise, there's been a lot of talk about DeMarcus Cousins as a possibility, the other possibilities, but it looks like cap-wise, they're probably going to have to wait until next year. Really. So I got to give LeBron credit for this. He was willing to come to the West with no real help.
No.
No other superstar help is committed, right?
And Vegas, what did Vegas say?
Well, they upped it all the way to 7-2, second best odds.
So let that sink in. Nobody can swing the pendulum of power like LeBron James. Oh, he does that because he's in the East. He didn't go to the Rockets. He didn't go to Golden State. He went to a Lakers, a team that finished, what, 10th or 11th in their conference.
Okay.
And now they're the #2 favorite to win the title. That just goes to show you what it represents, what he represents. But it also goes to show you, Skip, he did something he never did for Dan Gilbert in his return. Signed a 4-year deal, 3 years and a player option. Basically, he was year to year with Dan Gilbert. So in other words, he's telling you, I trust Magic Johnson, whom I know only basically in passing, who I've admired his game for a very long time. I trust him more than I ever trusted you, Dan Gilbert.
Well, he only gave him 1 year at a time.
One at a time.
Now he just gave Magic 3.
3.
Yeah.
Gave him 3, Skip Bayless.
So, do you think the Lakers are the second best team in the West right now with no other superstar added? Like Vegas is saying?
LeBron James is 2 superstars by himself.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Would you bet me 5 cases of Diet Mountain Dew that the Lakers don't make it to the conference finals? I'll say they do not make it for 5 cases of Dew right now.
Bet it. Run it.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
We got that one.
Got it.
Woo!
Even
I
if we
just
don't
scored
get a
again.
Boogie Cousins, even if we don't get a Kawhi, if we mess around and get Kawhi, we're going to win the title.
Okay, but I'm saying with no other
With no-
additions.
we don't need nothing.
With the roster
need-
and keeping the Luol Deng contract on the books.
Oh, we're going to get rid of that albatross.
Okay? I don't think you can.
Yeah, we
you
gonna
can't just
spread it out.
snap. You can't trade it.
We're going to spread it out.
Okay, you can try to spread it, but you
Yeah.
can't just quickly snap your fingers and eliminate that contract.
Maybe
so
we
I
buy
think
him
you're
out.
stuck with it.
Maybe we buy him out.
He's owed $36 million more.
We get
Luol
30.
Deng.
We get 30
Maybe
million.
they'll let him try to play next year.
No, he ain't playing nothing. I tell you what, we give you 30 million to walk, Luol. Walk. Get to stepping.
Well, where are you going to get? Are you going to chip in or what?
Man, they're worth like $2.5 billion. What's 30 million to them?
Yeah, okay.
Magic, you got that in your cushion. He owned part of the Lakers, all them theaters he got, sold all the coffee shops. They got that money. Get Luol Deng off the books.
So is it possible LeBron James said, I'm just tired of the pressure and expectation. I want to go it alone next year. I want to take a year off of the pressure where nobody's really going to expect us to do anything.
Yeah,
it's just going to be me and a few vets and the kids, right?
He's an A-class actor. You think Denzel can make a movie and there not be pressure for it to be great? Do you think Meryl Streep can make a movie and there's not pressure to be great? That's LeBron James. It doesn't matter where he plays. It doesn't matter the conference. There's always expectations.
Not the usual.
Yes, it is.
In the East, it was a cakewalk every year to 8 straight finals in the Eastern Conference.
And guess what?
No cakewalk.
He came to the Western Conference to eat pie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And?
Yeah. He gonna eat pie. With no help.
I think he's going to eat crow next year.
Watch
like
Kuzma.
lots of humble crow.
Watch our Kuzma turning around. Watch Kuzma.
Okay.
Watch Julius Randle. We keep those guys.
Yeah.
We ain't still. Magic's not done wheeling and dealing. He's still got a no-look pass that you haven't seen yet. Watch him. Watch him.
And what would you think that would be?
I ain't telling.
No?
Yeah, he got it. Oh, Magic. Look. Oh, Magic.
I don't think there's one left to be made. Seriously.
You doubt Magic Johnson?
Huh?
You doubt Magic Johnson?
No, I love Magic Johnson. Better than LeBron James ever hoped to be.
Don't do that, Skip.
Well, you know he
Don't
was.
Don't do
Come
that.
on, man.
Don't do that, Skip.
Yeah.
See, we was having a good conversation.
Yeah, but-
you was being courteous. I was being receptive to courtesy, and then you ruined it with that comment.
Well, I'm going to continue to ruin it because I thought it was vintage LeBron, and this is what led me to believe that he's just going to go it alone next year. I believe he signed off on adding 2 veteran minimum contracts late last night that are perfect for LeBron James. One is Lance, you said his nemesis, which is actually a compliment to Lance. If he's a nemesis, that's pretty good. And I think LeBron does respect Lance's game, just not his antics, although his antics tended to distract LeBron James,
He
right?
will play. This is what we know about Lance Stevenson. Skip, he will play hard from start to finish. Now, he can't shoot the ball like JR, but he will always be fully engaged.
I'm glad you brought up JR because, to me, last night, LeBron James added 2 J.R. Smiths to that roster, the second being a JaVale McGee. What do Lance and JaVale and JR all have in common? They've all been written off occasionally as knuckleheads, right?
Yeah.
Making boneheaded decisions and just playing goofy basketball, right? All 3 of them. You can't trust any of those 3. So to me, LeBron pushed to sign JaVale and Lance because he's got 2 scapegoats for next year that the media, will just jump all over and say, oh, it's their fault.
No.
It's his fault. It's his fault.
Here's the thing. I look at JaVale McGee and Lance Stevenson like painkiller. Now, if you take them in small doses, it'll help you. Too much of them, it'll kill you. See, if you play them a long stretches, Skip Bayless, it's disadvantage for you. So what we're going to do, we're going to play JaVale McGee in the minutes like he played at Golden State. He'll give you 10, 12 minutes, Skip. Hustle, to the rim, block some shots. Lance Stevenson, play hard defense, make some clutch buckets, can initiate offense. Don't worry about LeBron got this. All we need is a guy that if you get the rebound in a tie ball game, you don't run out past the three-point line and then look up at the clock and say, I thought we were ahead.
So, Alex, I have a prediction for next season. I believe that repeatedly, remember I said this, on this show, this man will sit in that chair and condemn either Lance or JaVale for the reason that LeBron lost the game last night is he doesn't have enough help because those two knuckleheads take so many bad shots and make so many bad basketball decisions. Watch.
First, this is what we know about JaVale McGee. He doesn't take bad shots because all of his are dunks or putbacks.
I don't
know.
So
they're not going to be any bad shots.
He's been shacked in a pool a lot. You know it and I know it.
Second of all, I will not be in this chair as much as you think. I'll be at Staples doing my thing.
Really?
I'll be doing mine at Staples.
You'll be doing remote from Staples?
Yeah, coming live from Staples, me and Bron.
You'll just stay up all night?
Yep, me and Bron.
Yeah, 6:30 a.m. here in Pacific time. You'll just be remote at Staples.
Look, me and Bron going to be doing it. I'm going to have Bron on. We're going to do a show, Skip.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, that would be
that
would be a showstopper right there.
Just from Staples. We can't.
I don't get to.
No. We can't come in here. We don't want you messing up our mojo.
So I want to know, what is your ultimate dream scenario? Let's even do for next year. You want them to add who and who, or whom and whom?
I mean, I'll take Kawhi, I'll take Boogie Cousins.
Okay.
If we get either one of those guys, we will represent the Western Conference in the NBA Finals.
Okay. Do you realize if you get both of them, what you've added together, what your big three would look like? You would have a LeBron James who will melt down occasionally, as we just saw.
Stop it.
What, did he not melt down before overtime of game one of these last finals? Let's just sweep that under the rug and forget about that. But he did melt down. It was all time.
He averaged 34.99
but he melted down when they needed him most. And then we have a DeMarcus Cousins who will technical foul melt down just like crazy. Am I right about that?
Bron
got him.
Yep.
Okay, so meltdown to meltdown. I don't know about that one. And then we would add a Kawhi Leonard, and to me, he's no longer Kawhi. He's just Leonard. Because I'm done with him. He's Leonard. From this point forward, he is Leonard.
The best two-way player in basketball.
I want to remind everybody out there that he quit on the classiest organization, maybe in sports, but definitely in the NBA.
He was hurt.
He was not hurt.
He was injured.
He took a knee to the thigh and played a grand total of 9 games because he has low basketball character. I want to remind everybody that because that's who you're after.
Yes,
that's who you're willing to bet the ranch on. So if you wind up with DeMarcus Cousins and a Leonard,
Kawhi,
who you cannot count on, he's always hurt. There's always something wrong. As long as he was playing kind of in the shadow of Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker, it worked.
2 Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
MVP, Finals MVP, second in the MVP
Can you
bonus.
trust him? Can you count on him?
I trust him.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you'd have 3 players as your big 3 who have some mental weakness involved in all 3.
He doesn't want to be Skip.
Yeah. Really?
Skip.
Who's your tough guy?
Hold on.
Who's your tough guy?
I heard the thing.
Who are you going to go to?
Skip, okay, Skip, the relationship is over.
Okay.
You don't have to make an enemy of somebody to break up.
I'm just telling you the unvarnished truth.
No.
Kawhi Leonard.
Skip,
He's
how about
just
this?
Leonard to me.
How about do it like this, Skip? You know what? Spurs, we've run our course. We've gone as far as we could possibly go. We don't need to become adversaries. We don't need to become enemies in order to break up. One of us can take the high road and says, okay, it's time for me to get out this train.
Well, I'm going to remind you that Brett Brown, the current coach of the Philadelphia 76ers, was the assistant coach of the San Antonio Spurs in Leonard's first 2 years. I got to get that out of my head. He's just Leonard. But in his first 2 years with the Spurs, Brett Brown was a coach. So they have some kind of rapport and relationship, which is why the Sixers are a better choice, I think, have the better odds of trading for Leonard, because do you realize the stockpile of draft picks they have to trade? They have Sacramento's first pick next year.
Greg Popovich and R.C. Buford want players that can play now. Now, from what we're hearing is that all Embiid, obviously, Ben Simmons, obviously, and Markelle Fultz is off the table. Now, if those 3 guys are off the table, What good are draft picks when you could have a Brandon Ingram, you might get a Kuzma, you might could throw in a Lonzo Ball or a Josh Hart.
I told you from the start, we'll take all three of those.
You
want to give up all three.
You're not taking all or nothing.
Well, you just told me he's two-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's got the leverage? We do.
You ain't got no leverage?
Huh?
Because this is what we know about Kawhi. Try him again. Try to say we're going to hold on to him until the trade deadline and see how many games he play for you. Because Kawhi strikes me as a guy to prove his point.
Yeah.
Now, he's dug in right now like an Alabama
two other
kid.
things. I'm going to remind you two other things.
What?
His uncle, who is now his chief advisor, lives near Philadelphia in southern New Jersey.
Okay.
And remember the second opinion doctor he went to in New York? That just happens to be the team surgeon for the Philadelphia 76ers, who at least would know the full scope of the injury, and he could probably tell the Sixers he's not hurt. He's not hurt. He'll be just fine.
Yeah.
And then maybe Brett Brown, who has a great personality and great rapport with players, could talk Kawhi Leonard into committing long-term to Philadelphia.
It's being reported the bridge was not only burned, it was napalmed. It was Chernobyl. Once Tony Parker opened his trap.
And spoke the truth,
he didn't
the absolute
no truth.
100% truth, that his injury was 100 times worse than Kawhi's.
How does Tony Parker know what his injury was? That's your body. Okay, you hurt. You don't know what's going on with Kawhi.
Tony Parker knows he ruptured his quadriceps.
Don't worry about it.
Ruptured it.
I tell you what.
Knee in the thigh.
We're going to load this U-Haul. We're going to spin tires kicking up out of town.
Shannon Sharpe played 150 games with a knee in the thigh.
Yeah, but that's not... Football players are wired a little differently.
Okay.
We understand that we must play because there are only 16 games.
Yeah, a lot of basketball players are wired very differently than Kawhi Leonard.
He also
Good luck with him.
He also saw what happened to Isaiah Thomas. Now, this is what we know, Skip Bayless. Isaiah Thomas is about to be on his what? Okay, Sacramento, Phoenix, Boston, Cleveland, L.A. He's about to be on his 16.
Well, unless the Lakers sign him back so that he and LeBron can rebond, because they hit it off, man. They were a pair.
You can't even
they were a dynamic duo.
You can't even say
well,
that
it's possible.
You can't even say that with a straight face.
All right, guys. It's only been over 12 hours. We've already seen the LeBron effect. We have much more on LeBron coming up. But why is Paul George avoiding the king?
A very good question.
And how will LeBron deal with LeVar Ball?
Ooh, very good.
All that next.
No mercy.
Paul George agreed to a 4-year, $137 million deal to stay in OKC, according to ESPN. He announced it at a party on Saturday night hosted by Russell Westbrook. There was a lot of speculation that George would join LeBron with the Lakers, but instead, he decided to return to the Thunder after losing in the first round of the playoffs. Shannon, how surprising is this move?
I'm surprised. I'm confused. I'm befuddled. I'm dumbfounded. Skip, this makes no sense to me. Now, let's go back to last year. Paul George could have stayed in Indiana. 5 years, $219 million. They traded him because they couldn't get a long term and they didn't want to see him walk out the door for nothing. They traded him to OKC. And he made it, hey, I'm enjoying my time here and we see what happens. He did an interview the other day. He said when he was growing up and he dreamed of playing in the NBA, it wasn't in a Pacers uniform. It wasn't in a Thunder's uniform. It was playing in the purple and gold for the Lakers. So he had an opportunity to go play for the purple and gold alongside LeBron James. And he takes $7 million more to go back and play with Russell Westbrook in OKC.
And committed longer term.
And committed longer term. Skip, help me understand this. Do you believe deep down in Paul George's heart, he believes he has a better chance of winning a title in OKC with Russ than he has with LeBron?
I do not think that.
I do not, absolutely. And here's the thing, here's the kicker, Skip. I don't get what OKC is thinking. See, OKC is having, what they're doing, they're trying to go back and reinvent what they let get away. Because for $4 million extra, you'd have gone into the luxury cap, but you'd have kept James Harden. Skip, you're going into the luxury tax or for a player that you got knocked out in the first round by a team led by a rookie. Not the Western Conference Finals, not the Western Conference semifinals.
True.
You got knocked out in the first round, and you're going in the luxury tax for that?
Well, you're going into it for Melo's contract, basically. But that's what you're stuck with. But go ahead.
That's my point. Now you even make my point even more. So you bring PG back. You pair him with Russ. You sign Jeremy Grant back. Hold on, wait a minute. You still got Melo. So where did y'all get better at? So
well, remember, Robertson got hurt, so you're bringing back a really top-notch defensive player, a stud who can take away your best option.
And he take away your best option scoring the ball also. Because I can hack a Robertson and he's going to go 2 for 20 from the free throw line.
Yeah.
Skip, there's no way Paul George thinks he's in a better situation to win a title currently in OKC than he would be than in LA. This makes no sense. It makes no sense to me that you would go into the luxury tax. You got knocked out in the first round, Skip. If they had lost to Golden State, had they lost to the Rockets, Skip, I can see, okay, they're right there. They're knocking on the door. Skip, you got knocked out in the first round by a team led by a rookie. And Paul George say, we're close? We're right there? No, you're not. If you live in the continental USA, Skip, you can say, well, hey, I'm close to Seattle, even if you live in Miami, because it's closer than if you lived in Russia. But come on, Skip, how close are OKC, even with Paul George? Hey, that's your decision. But don't tell me that you think because we're close, I'm going to win a title. Skip, stop it. You know good and well, Paul George, you're not any closer to winning a title in OKC in 2018-19 than you were in 2017-2018. That's fact.
As usual, you're heading down the right road to the wrong conclusion. I am not surprised. I am not confused. I am not dumbfounded by anything that Paul George just did, because what do I call him repeatedly on this show? I call him George Paul, because he is nothing but a second star.
You call him a complimentary superstar.
Complimentary superstar in a smaller market. Let's look at his past. He didn't grow up on the west side of Los Angeles or in Hawthorne, like just south of the airport, the way Russell Westbrook did, or James Harden in that same vicinity. You're from LA, obviously, so you know this. He grew up in Palmdale, which is about 60 miles north of Los Angeles and has a grand total of 150,000 people. Then he played at Fresno State in Little Fresno, which is, it's not a small town, but it's not a big town either. And then he played in Indianapolis, which is the 7th smallest market in the league, and wound up in the 3rd smallest market in Oklahoma City. He is a high IQ basketball player because he can really pass it when he wants to pass it. He really has a good feel for the game, which means he was smart enough to see what was coming if he joined LeBron on the Staples stage, because it's a big stage with bright lights and a whole lot of Hollywood stars in attendance in the first 3 rows, right?
Every night.
Every night. You are under fire. And he watched what happened to Kevin Love in Cleveland this year, and he did not want to get Kevin loved or unloved by the LeBron protecting media, because Paul George, or George Paul, knew full well that if he went to LA for all that money, that his expectations would go through the Staples roof. Oh, LeBron's now got help. And when the help didn't help enough, who gets blamed the most? The number 2 guy. It's Kevin Love's fault. Wait, how many times do you sit over there and say, where's Kevin Love when you need him, right? Right? And that's what Paul George didn't want any part of, because I don't know if he's all about winning lots of championships. He's about being happy. And he found a real comfort zone in Oklahoma City. It's my hometown. You're from LA, but I just spent several days there over our break. And they were all thinking they were going to be left high and dry by George Paul, just the way Kevin Durant left him high and dry. And I kept saying, nope, nope, he'll stay because he's comfortable here. They made him comfortable. It feels like a college sort of basketball market with that kind of frenzied fandom.
Right.
And he's playing alongside a guy who's hard to play with, but Paul George doesn't seem to care about Russell Westbrook taking all the shots because he's comfortable taking whatever Russ gives him on any given night.
You know why he's comfortable, Skip? Because there's no expectations of
None.
championship.
No.
Kyrie Irving says
No.
it's a B playing alongside
It
that
is.
guy because
It
the
is.
expectation
I agree.
is to...
I agree. That's the point.
Yes.
That's why he is still a Thunder.
Exactly.
And he's making lots of money to play in a nice little town. They had a big party out on Lake Arcadia the other night, and Russell's happy, and he's happy, and Melo's pretty much, they're stuck with Melo for one more year.
Melo didn't even come to the party.
Oh, that's all right.
So they tell him, oh, whoa.
Melo's a New York
Hold on,
guy.
time,
He
no,
doesn't do-
whoa,
he
whoa,
doesn't
time,
do Lake- he doesn't do
whoa.
Lake Arcadia
Whoa,
outside Oklahoma City.
time out. That's the big 3. And Melo wasn't invited.
Remember what Melo said about Paul when he said he's about to be playoff P. Remember that? Melo was going, what? Playoff P?
That's what they call it?
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't know that.
So I'm going to remind everybody what happened in the closeout game of that first round exit that you just talked about against Utah. Game 6 in Salt Lake City. What happened to George Paul?
Yeah.
He turned into George Paul, did he not?
Yes.
Do you remember? He made his last field goal, this is the closeout game, with 4:45 left in the first quarter. That's the last bucket scored by George Paul in that game.
You remember what happened?
Just to remind you.
You remember
he
what
went 2 for 16 in that game.
What happened in Game 4 when they got swept? When they had an opportunity when he passed the ball to C.J. Miles and C.J. I wanted it back. Game 4.
Well, that was Game 1.
Yeah, but I'm saying in Game 4. No show.
In Indy?
Yes.
Oh, he was terrible.
No show.
I told you. He's like a poor man's LeBron James. You can't trust him.
Everybody, you know what? Everybody say, Skip, and we hear this, and not just in football and basketball. Everybody says, I want to play for a title. I want to compete for championships. But, Skip, a lot of them don't want that pressure that comes along with that.
Okay.
Because when you play with LeBron James, Skip, there is no other.
Okay, there is no other. So let's do a hypothetical fast forward. Let's look at what if Paul George had joined LeBron, and in the first round of next year's playoffs, they get upset by, let's do Utah.
Okay.
In 6 games at Salt Lake City. And let's say in game number 6, playing alongside LeBron James. Remember, Russ had 46 points in that game, in the closeout game.
Right.
He was just going mano a mano with Donovan Mitchell.
Correct.
Should have been Rookie of the Year, but I don't know. No, he should have been the Rookie.
No, he shouldn't.
Everybody knows that.
No.
But the point is, what if George Paul had a George Paul game alongside LeBron? What if he went 2 for 16 with 5 points and 6 turnovers the way he did in that game 6? He would be excoriated. He would be condemned. He would be banished from Los Angeles. He would have to go into hiding.
Well, the thing is with Paul George, Skip, when he was in Indy, he was the big chief. He was the head honcho. So the criticism was warranted. Now in OKC, he doesn't get as much criticism because it's Russ's team. Yeah. Now, he wouldn't get as much criticism if he had played alongside LeBron. They don't get as much criticism as LeBron, but they're going to get some because, especially like you said, Russ had 46. Paul George, you can't give me 14? Yeah. You can't give me 20?
Just a little bit. Remember, they had that sequence late with a minute left.
Right.
They had 6 straight shots getting,
and he missed like 2 or 3 threes.
Yeah. But I mean, you got to make a shot. One shot. Just one shot. You got to be the complimentary star because you at least got to compliment the superstar who's scoring 46 points. But he got away with it because he was playing for the Thunder in third smallest market, OKC, right? And you have to have big stomach to play with LeBron James, especially on the Staples stage, and he does not have the stomach for it. So I applaud him. I think he made the right choice. He's much happier where he is now.
Expectations.
Okay.
When you play with LeBron James, there is no about the first round. There is no second round. The expectations are you're going to play in the finals and you're going to compete and you're trying to win the finals.
Hey,
Paul George has never had that expectation.
No, I agree. And if they do go forward with the team virtually intact as it is today, the Lakers roster, watch what happens to Kuzma and Lonzo and Brandon Ingram when they finally get to the first round of the playoffs. It's going to be a whole brave new world for them, and they might look a little like Jordan Clarkson did or Rodney Hood did in last year's playoffs, right?
I hope not.
Well, that's what you're looking at.
Well, I ain't have to look at the Cavs no more. I know what what I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to look at them in the lottery for the next 2 or 3 years. You know that. I think they can make the playoffs. They're not making the playoffs even in the East.
And they're not finished yet. They'll make the Eastern Conference playoffs.
They're not making the playoffs.
I got to wait. I'm going to bet you several cases of due on this, but I think that, again, if they keep it pretty, they still have Kevin Love and Tristan, and should I go on? I mean, he had lots of help. I mean, all he did is get to the NBA Finals. All they did was sweep Toronto last year.
Look what the man had to do. Yeah. The man had arguably the greatest playoff stretch in the history of the game just to get swept. He was 6 rebounds from averaging, again, a triple-double, and he couldn't take a game.
He averaged, what was his individual defense? I think he was 47th
Skip,
in the playoffs in defense.
Don't do that.
I don't know. You got to play some defense.
What about offense?
He was great.
So did Kevin Love? So what was Kevin Love? What was JR?
Kevin Love simply saved the season when LeBron, quote-unquote, cramped up at the end of Game 7. Yeah,
Alex,
he doesn't want to hear this. Nobody wants to hear this.
He lives in my ear. What'd you say? Yeah. What'd you say? Okay, yeah she's
got to rap.
Go ahead.
It's a wrap. Yeah, because Cleveland got swept in the finals because LeBron melted down.
No. They got swept. The better team won.
Oh.
The better team won the series.
Boy, they had the better team on the ropes in game 1.
Skip.
Game 3.
Houston had
they're up 1 with 3 minutes left.
Houston had them on the ropes, double digits at home and away, and they got away from them. So
well, Chris Paul got away with a hamstring. So
whatever.
Yeah.
I love how much Diet Mountain Dew is already up on the
Well,
table.
somebody's already 11 cases up.
I'm gonna be.
I love
by
it.
the next season, I'll be even.
Oh, you better hope so.
No mercy.
All right, guys, next up, just as LeVar Ball predicted, LeBron will be a Laker as of now. He'll join Lonzo Ball on the Lakers roster. And yesterday, Lonzo tweeted, y'all really thought he was going to pass up the greatest city in the world? Hashtag the king is here. Shannon, how will it play out with LeBron, Lonzo, and LeVar all in LA?
The king is here. Ooh. Everybody's saying it, Skip.
Oh, LeVar's already here.
No, don't do that.
Sorry.
Don't do that. The king. They know who the king is. That's a very, very interesting question, Skip, and I'm not really sure. Now, it's being reported that Lonzo has a torn meniscus. Skip, he's had knee problems that caused him to miss a substantial amount of time this year.
I don't know why they didn't get it fixed during the season. They tried to let him just rehab it with no surgery. Yeah.
Now, this is what we know about knees. Lonzo Ball had knee problems at 19, 20. As you start to age, knees don't get healthier, Skip, especially when you're playing every other day, 82 times over a 6-month stretch, night in, night out. Now, I'm sure LeBron, Rich Paul, Magic Johnson, and Rob Pelinka have had this discussion. LeBron says, look, if there's going to be some flare-ups or some dust-up, there might be things, players not getting along. But I don't want to have to deal with mom, dad, and significant others in the newspaper, on the radio, on television. So I'm not fully convinced that when they jump the ball up in the regular season next year, I'm not totally convinced Lonzo Ball is going to be on this roster. But being that as it may, it's a game changer. You see, LeVar Ball thought he was in a position of authority because guess what? Lonzo, point guard, you don't have another. Jordan Clarkson's gone. I'm a yak. Well, they got a guy that can handle the ball better than Lonzo Ball. And all that yakking will get your son up out of town. So let me tell you something. You can be Lonzo, but Lonzo Ball is not the same Lonzo Ball if he's not in that Lakers uniform because that purple and gold carries a little extra weight.
It does.
It's kind of like the green and white in Boston or that orange and blue with the Knicks. So if Lonzo is to be on the team, I don't think we'll hear as much from LeVar as we have in the past.
Okay. So I'm here to point out that medial meniscus knee surgery is about as minor as you can get. So I think he's going to be just fine. Why he didn't have that during the year, I don't know. They must have thought it was so minor that he could get through it, right? There must have been a minute tear in the cartilage, just such a small one.
Why not just go fix it after the season? Soon as the season
I don't get it. I don't know, and I don't have any inside information, so I don't get that. It bothers me a little bit, but not a lot.
Okay.
So let's just do the hypothetical that LeBron is willing to go forward with both of the balls, as in Lonzo and his father. Number one, do you think that LeBron James has respect for Lonzo's game? Because I think he has high respect. Because he sees a little bit of himself in Lonzo. Lonzo is a high IQ distributor of the basketball who is unselfish to a fault. You don't think that will fit and blend with LeBron's game? Because I think it will. And as Chris Broussard has often said on our show, as LeBron ages, he would like to play a little more off the ball and be more of a two-guard scorer, which obviously he is all-time great at.
Right.
So why wouldn't it fit for Lonzo to play point while they can mix and match who gets to bring the ball up and initiate the offense? But do you think Lonzo cares? He doesn't care who initiates the offense.
No.
Half the time last year, you just go stand off on the side and watch everybody.
But what are you going to do about that? What are you going to do about that field goal percentage?
Well,
LeBron's going to have to pass the ball. He got to shoot the ball sometimes.
Okay, all right. But again, we've talked all about that. 10, 7, and 7, that translates for a rookie, for a 19-year-old. Those are pretty big-time numbers. He is going to be a player in this league.
But the shots that he's going to be required to take and make now will be a little different than the ones that he took and made last year.
He's one kid who's not going to be intimidated playing alongside LeBron James. He's one kid who gets the spotlight, who's felt the spotlight just as hot on him as LeBron felt on him when he was 18. Yes, sir.
No.
Yes, sir.
That's a different ball game.
Huh?
That's a different ball game.
I don't think so. You don't think LeVar turned up the heat on his kid?
Kyrie Irving is his big time and his clutch, and he says, you know what, I'm out. I'm out.
Lonzo doesn't seem bothered by anything. He's had to live with his father from age 5 up, making these kind of outlandish statements.
But his father ain't about winning no championship.
Okay, so
you in
now,
that Laker uniform is about titles.
Number 2. I believe that deep down, even though he would never admit it publicly, that LeBron James gets a kick out of LeVar Ball, that they have more in common than you are giving it credit for, because they're both entertainers and showmen when it comes to putting on a public show. It can be either to the media with what you say or on social media. LeBron is the drama king, man. He's always into something. He's always dropping little bombshells on the media or through social media. They're passive-aggressive bombshells. They're stroke your chin, say, what did he mean by that
I know exactly what he means about a lot of them.
No, about a lot of them, but a lot of them you're saying, I don't know about that one.
Could be about you.
Okay, they may be about me, but LeVar is just in your face. He's not passive-aggressive. He's just flat-out aggressive with what he says.
Skip, there's one thing, but when a parent of a teammate start saying, well, it's your fault, like he said about Julius Randle.
He did. I didn't love it.
Exactly.
You know, I don't think he'll say that about LeBron James. No. I could be wrong, but I think even LeVar would draw that line.
I'm not totally convinced that when they jump the ball, October? Is that when they start playing basketball? I'm not totally convinced number 2 will be in that
Okay,
uniform.
well, you could be right, but I'm just doing the hypothetical that if LeVar is still part of the Laker family, that I think he will be just fine with LeBron and vice versa, because they had only one spat, and it was when LeVar dared to just speak the utter truth when he said, if you look at history, the kids of superstars never measure up to the superstar, because it's virtually impossible to do that.
That wasn't earth-shattering news.
Okay, but what did LeBron spit back? Keep my kids' names out of your mouth.
LeBron just didn't like the fact that you're talking about his kid because no one asked you about LeBron.
And LeBron might be one very proud papa who says, watch my kid be as good as I am, because he probably believes he will be.
The likelihood of that happening is not very good. I mean, Kareem having a son and he being better than Kareem. Or Griffey Jr. having a son, he being better than he. Come on, Skip. Peyton Manning's son or Tom Brady's son being better at quarterbacking than his dad. Come on. That's not going to happen.
Well, obviously, Griffey's father was a Major League Baseball player, but he wasn't a superstar.
But he wasn't Griffey.
Right. He wasn't.
So was Barry Bonds. Bobby was a good player.
He was a really good player.
But he wasn't Barry.
Nope. And Barry's son, the last time I checked, wasn't even remotely Barry Bonds.
And that's
it's impossible.
Right.
I mean, will it happen sometime down the road? Maybe, but I don't know.
Skip, Archie Manning got 2 sons that went first overall. Archie wasn't better than Peyton.
Nope. And Archie was really good.
Yes.
I mean, he was really good, especially in college.
He was the number 2 pick in the draft behind Jim Plunk. I mean, I think he came out in 71.
And he got stuck for a really sad sack franchise in New Orleans, and he took a beating, but he was still pretty good.
Yes.
Okay, but he wasn't Peyton.
Right.
He wasn't Eli.
and that's the thing. So, but I just think the thing is, Skip, is that LeBron would have a hard time. You just try to stay, if you're a parent or a significant other, you just try to stay above that, because when you start talking about coaching, start talking about players, people automatically assume, Skip, where that came from. Somebody's in that locker room.
Yep.
Well, since your son is in that locker room, so LeBron is going to be like, because now if stuff start getting out, LeBron going to be looking at, man, what you going to do about your problems?
Well, allow me to congratulate LeVar Ball, because I want to point out for everyone, he said from day 1 of last season, going all the way back to October, that LeBron is coming to Los Angeles and going to be a Laker. He said it all along. We would have him on the show. How many times has he been on? Every time he's been on, he said, LeBron's coming to L.A. He is? How do you know? I just know. Did he speak it into existence, or did he have some connection, some sort of through the grapevine back to LeBron?
Now, we neighbors.
Huh?
Yeah, me and old Bron neighbors.
You are?
Yeah.
I mean, Chino Hills isn't next to Brentwood.
No. Me and Bron. He right down the street from me.
Well, there's a 405 freeway separating you, so you're.
I just got to drive under. It's the underpass.
Yeah.
I just drive under that. Skip.
Well, good luck trying to get under it and back over it. You know, like it's
but
hard.
nowhere. Brentwood is nowhere from where I am.
Huh? I know exactly where it is. I go there all the time. It's hard to get there and hard to get back.
You stay on your side of town.
Okay,
You let me and Bron stay on our side of town. So we don't want to catch you over there.
You don't want to catch me over there?
No. Brentwood ain't big enough for the three of us.
Well,
2.
Unfortunately,
Me and Bron.
I'm a member at Brentwood Country Club. What are you going to do about that? Have me expelled?
Yeah, we thinking about it.
You might.
Me and Bron thinking about buying it and having new membership.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
me and Bron.
Well, if it comes down to me or LeBron becoming a member at Brentwood, I think I'm out. Right?
You think?
Well, and I have heard some discussion. I think we get LeBron to join here. And I'm like, yeah, over my dead body, which will be dead, actually.
Whoa. Talk about.
Yeah.
LeBron is really not a golfer. But if we want to do that, Skip Bayless, you know what we're going to do?
It's beautiful there, man.
We're going to shut it down.
Yeah.
Just me and Bron going to play a couple 18 holes.
You could do that.
With no members.
Okay. You could
Mainly,
do that.
Yeah.
You could do that. And you should ask your big brother to come, right?
Yeah.
'Cause he's the real golfer in the family.
Yeah.
Right?
But I probably can beat LeBron.
I don't know about that.
Could.
Just keep it easy with Sunday barbecues.
Yeah.
I'll be over for Sunday barbecues.
Just in the backyard
Yeah,
of like
easy
a $30
breezy.
million mansion.
Yeah, me and old Bron talking, reminiscing with our cigar. Hey, Bron. Boy, we did it. We pulled this cool
We
on.
pulled
We
this
got it.
off. Yeah. This is going to be a new world for you.
Yeah.
It's going to be
This is
something.
going to be fun.
I'm being
You
a
and
lot of
Bron.
games.
Huh?
I'll be at a lot of games.
Okay, good. You can report back what actually didn't happen in the game.
Wins. They'll have more than 37
All right,
wins,
guys,
I bet you
we
that.
are switching gears. Did Tim Tebow deserve
here
to
we
be
go.
the
Yes.
minor league all-star? We'll discuss that next.
Why is he getting LeBron segment?
No mercy.
Tim Tebow is officially an all-star.
What?
On Friday, he was named to the AA Eastern League All-Star team. Tebow is hitting .257 with 5 homers this season for the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. Now, he's been on fire recently, hitting .333 in his last 10 games. Shannon, did Tebow deserve to be an all-star?
Come
Why
on.
you do this?
Be honest.
Why you do this?
For once in your life,
No.
speak the truth.
No.
Yeah.
No, he did not deserve it. But then you know what? The fans wanted to see this. He's a fan draw. Skip, hold on. Let me get this straight.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow is 43rd in batting average, .257. He's tied for 59th in home runs with 5. He's tied for 39th in RBIs with 30. He's second in strikeout with 89 and 218 at-bats. So in other words, he's striking out over 40% of the time that he steps to the plate. And somehow, he made it to the All-Star game. Come on, Skip. And you see what, you know what, even Alex didn't want to read this and no read in.
Yes, she
Over
did.
the last 10 games.
She worked hard at reading it correctly, and she spat it right out, right on time.
Alex, like-
she did not even stumble once over those Rumble Ponies, right?
Alex up here talking about, y'all got me up here like Huckabee Sanders up here lying.
No,
You got
that's
me
not
wanting me to
true.
believe
That's
that
not
Tim
what she said.
Tebow deserved to be in the All-Star game. Skip,
You're
you
putting
know he
words
doesn't.
in her mouth. Nope.
Skip, you know he doesn't. Skip, you keep talking about why do every time we talk about Tim Tebow, we got to caveat it. Oh, the last 8 games. Oh, the last 10 games. What about all those other games that he's been in? Even though he's batting .330 currently over his last, 10 games, he's still only batting .257. So prior to this hot streak, what was he batting just to get into .247? Come on, Skip, man, you need to stop this. This was going to be a good day for me. I felt good. Alex had me a couple of gummies before I left the house. Got my glasses.
I thought you were getting in shape.
I am
turned
getting-
50.
I had to celebrate, Skip. Sometimes they're celebrating.
I think it's gone on for a week now, celebration.
It was, but I had no intents and purposes, Skip, to celebrate past, this weekend. But then here come LeBron dropped this in my lap. What I'm supposed to do?
Yep.
He dropped this in my lap. I'm trying to celebrate, and you ruin it with this. I'm done.
As hard as you have worked on your fitness, in your wildest dreams, you've never worked as hard as Tim Tebow works on his fitness as it pertains now to the sport of baseball. And I'm going to remind you that until last year, Tim Tebow had not played the sport of baseball for 12 years since he was a junior in high school. And it's predictable that you Tebow haters, and you're the leader of the haters, just as you're the leader of the LeBron lovers, it makes sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. That you're going to try to discount his making the All-Star team with his overall season-long stats as opposed to just concentrating on June. Because in June, he's been on fire. He's hit over 300 in the month of June with an on-base plus slugging of 763. And I know that's a second-level stat for a lot of our viewers, but it's high.
What about April and May?
Well, I just said you're going to try to discount with April and May. But do you realize what level of young talent is at double A? He started at low A, then he went to high A, got promoted at the end of the year last year. Now he's in double A, and he's been way better at double A than Michael Jordan ever thought about being when he tried to play professional baseball. And all of a sudden, according to a lot of the rival managers in double A, he's looking like, dare I say, a Major League Baseball prospect? Dare I say it?
Skip, the problem that I have, and I'm sure that a lot of other players have in the minor leagues, but they can't voice this because of the blowback, but I can because I don't give a D about no blowback. What about the guys that are hitting 275, 280, 290, 300 that are not getting called up for the minors? And here's a guy that's hitting 257 that might get called up. How
obviously, right now, the Mets need all the help they can get.
He can't help the Mets.
Okay, we'll see. I told you, he's one of those guys you better not bet against. Because the brighter the lights and the bigger the moment, the more likely he is to hit it out of the park.
Skip, he got 5 home runs. And those fences are not as far back as the ones in the major leagues. So he's only hit the ball over the fence 5 times in those little parks. Now, I watched Odell Beckham take batting practice and knock it routinely. I saw him do it at the Angel Stadium. I saw him do it at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, 50-mile-an-hour lobbed fastballs. That'll work. Tebow, I told you what happened at his audition out here at USC a couple of years back, just before
when
we
the guy
launched
told him
on
what was coming. Did you see?
Okay, well, you don't think Odell knew what was coming?
No.
A straight ball?
Hey.
Were they throwing him breaking pitches?
Did you see what Matt Scherzer did to Tebow? How foolish he made him look.
Okay,
there are a lot of guys in the league that make him look foolish.
Here's a quote from the Hartford manager in Double A. Warren Schaefer says, he looks like a different guy than last year because he's working hard at it. He had a long way to climb. And here's another quote from Matt LeCroy, and you'll remember he played for the Twins. He was a pretty good player. He's now the manager of Harrisburg.
I think he was a catcher.
Huh? Yeah, okay. Matt LeCroy says, we've got guys who've been playing for 5, 6, 7 years and not having the success that Tim is having at Double A. He's starting to thrive in Double A. I told you before the season started, this is the measuring stick level of professional baseball. This is where men versus boys get separated.
But what Pat LaCroix didn't also tell you, what about the guys that's been trolling down here for 5 to 7 years that's having better success than Tim Tebow that's going unmentioned? What about those guys, Skip?
All I know is he's improving. In fact, his stats in every major category have gone up each month this year,
including strikeouts. I tell you what hadn't gone down is strikeouts. His on base percentage.
It's gone up every month. His on base has gone up every month. His on base plus slugging has gone up. His batting average has gone up every month of this season at Double A. It's hard, Shannon.
Think about that.
It is hard.
His batting average has gone up every single month, and he's still hitting 257. Let that sink in.
Yeah, well, let this sink in. Tim Tebow, as an NFL quarterback, got one long shot at being a starting quarterback, given to him by a John Elway and a John Fox, who just wanted to get the thing over with and get him over with. And what happened? He took a 1-4 team all the way to a division championship and a playoff win over Big Ben Roethlisberger with some of the greatest late-game clutch performances you've ever seen in the NFL.
Ben was
That's
hurt.
that guy. Oh, Ben was hurt.
Yep.
Okay.
Le'Veon was hurt.
Yeah, they all look pretty good to me.
No, they didn't.
Ben looked
and Ryan Clark
couldn't play. Okay.
And you know it, Skip Bayless.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Skip, stop saying that Tim Tebow had other opportunities in the NFL.
He did not.
Yes,
no one ever gave him a chance. He never got to start another single game in the National Football League.
No. See, I don't look at it as starting. I say, did he get an opportunity? Now, we've seen guys not even get the opportunity. Forget starting. They don't get an opportunity to go on another team.
So his record as a starting quarterback in Denver was 7-4. And history will say...
No. Don't do that, Skip Bayless.
Interesting.
That was his starting record that year. He did start a few games the
3.
year before. Okay, what was his record in that?
1-2.
Okay, then. So add that in there. Don't do that, Skip Bayless. I'm not going to let you do that.
But they were all 3 close games. Wait, maybe they're 2-1. Now that I think about it, did they win at Oakland?
Hold on, time out.
I can't remember. In the rain at Oakland was the first one, and then they lost to the Chargers, who were just way better than them.
If you don't,
but do you remember what they did to Matt Schaub in Houston? Do you remember the comeback that Tebow led in that game?
What do you mean?
I think
you see what you did, Skip? Now they lose the heat. Alex, you saw what he did on the slide. Alex, you got to pay attention to it because I had to learn this down because I had to go back home my first year and I had to go back and slow the tape down because he say some things.
He thinks he's learned how to do it now.
So he'll say some things.
Hasn't.
They lost the game, but they were all close. Hell, all the games they won was close.
Oh, 7-4. And guess what? The 1-4 dead-in-the-water Broncos went from that to leading the NFL in rushing that year. Why? Because Tim Tebow could run that read option.
And where were they at in passing?
It just didn't matter. They went 7-4 that year.
Name the team that won the Super Bowl that led the league in rushing. Last team to do that. I can't remember. I think it might have been the Broncos back in 98. But that ain't none of my business.
And history will ask the huge question of how did a quarterback who went 7-4 in that one season as starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos never get another start?
I hope I'm the guy. I hope I'm history. I hope I'm the guy that asked and I'm history, and I'm gonna cut the tape on. I'm gonna say that's how he didn't get it. I hope I'm history. That's my name.
Now
History
Tim Tebow has been out of baseball since his junior year of high school, when, by the way, he made All-State in the state of Florida. And it's not that easy to do. And all of a sudden, he has bounced back in only his second year of pro baseball in Double-A and made the All-Star team. You should applaud that because that's a rare achievement.
Skip, they got 5 All-Stars on the team. So everybody got to make it. You think about it, they got 3 different Double-A leagues.
Yep.
They got 12 teams in Eastern Conference. So everybody got to make it. Skip, you got to field 29 players. So stop it.
Tim Tebow is your worst nightmare. He's going to get a shot with the Mets. You know it, and I know it.
Yeah. That's not the question, Skip. The question isn't whether or not he will. The question or not, does he deserve? And there are more deserving players in the minors than Tim Tebow, but they don't have the fanfare. They don't have the draw. They don't have the backing of Tim Tebow. You know that.
They don't have the athletic legacy of Tim Tebow. He did win the Heisman Trophy.
What the hell that got to do with baseball?
Well, because
that is the Golden Spikes Award.
He's a high-level performer. You know it, and I know it. I know what he did to my Oklahoma Sooners in the national championship game. He destroyed them in the second half. Destroyed them.
Skip, that was so long ago. You still holding on to that?
I'm not holding on to it. It's on his resume.
Okay.
It's part of who he is.
You got to update that thing. We update resumes around here, Skip Bayless. We update resumes.
You remember those comebacks that year for your Broncos? You should love this.
That was 2011.
At Miami, Chicago at home. Do you remember those games?
Skip.
They were outrageous miracles.
And the Bears hadn't been to the playoffs since.
Well,
Miami's been to the playoffs once. Stop it, Skip. The Broncos have won Super Bowls. They've gone to the playoffs. I mean, they don't even remember that era. Peyton Manning came and erased it.
As the great Eric Mangini once said, Tim Tebow gets more accurate the closer and later the game gets.
So
Interesting.
when do we see him in the big leagues? What's your prediction?
Maybe at the end of this year.
Really?
The way the Mets are going.
Why
not give him a shot?
More accurate.
This year?
He's a 47% career completion percentage guy, but he gets more accurate. So in the meantime, until the game get close, Alex, he's throwing about 15%. He's completing about 20%. You know what, Skip Bayless?
He's your worst nightmare.
I'm a nice guy. I ain't gonna I could be old, ugly, and nasty and get the practice tape to let everybody see but I ain't like that. I ain't petted like that.
The practice tape.
Yeah.
I told you all along, he's not much of a practice player.
But I ain't petted like that.
He needs big game, big stage, big spotlight, and you better look out.
He need a better throwing arm, a better throwing feet, and then
when it happens, everyone is going to be watching.
Alex.
That's the truth. Now we're going to move on.
Alex, you seem happy about
this.
Yep.
I'm not. It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. You know, everyone wants to see. You don't know what's going to happen.
You just lost again.
Alex, you know what, Alex?
Now, was it right?
I'm sorry.
A right move for LeBron to come to the Lakers. We'll discuss that with Chris Broussard next.
We got 2 of them coming now.
no mercy.
Now, LeBron agreed yesterday to a 4-year deal, nearly $154 million to take his talents to L.A. ESPN reports Magic Johnson met with LeBron as soon as free agency started in one of his homes here in Los Angeles. Now, the Lakers also agreed to deals with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, JaVale McGee, and LeBron's nemesis, Lance Stevenson. Now, we are joined by FS1 NBA analyst Chris Broussard. Chris,
here we go.
Did anything about this surprise you?
My calves. I'm a Cleveland boy, I'm a Cleveland boy, but I get it. I'm happy. I mean, look, it's a great day for the NBA. Anytime the Lakers become relevant. And potentially great, it's good. This didn't surprise me nearly as much as the Paul George decision to stay in Oklahoma City. I've been saying the past few weeks that I thought LeBron was going to end up with the Lakers. But when George decided to stay in OKC, I did start wondering, will LeBron come here by himself? I started thinking a year in Cleveland was possible. I started thinking Philly was very possible.
Same here.
But then, part of me had bought into the narrative that LeBron wanted a stacked deck, because that's kind of been the feeling the last several years. But then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? This is actually similar to when he went back to Cleveland. Because when he wrote that letter going back to Cleveland, Sports Illustrated, it was, I need patience. It's not going to happen overnight. You had Kyrie, who was really good. Love, they ended up trading for it. He hadn't won anything. So it wasn't a stacked deck by any stretch. Right. They had won 33 games. The Lakers now have won 35 this year. So I think it's very
But he has
similar.
no Kyrie as
No,
we
he
speak.
doesn't. Exactly. He doesn't. That team was better than what he has now. But this team has more young depth. Like Ingram, Kuzma, none of them are Kyrie.
Second youngest at the time of tip-off if they stay
as they are.
Wow.
The thing with LeBron is, and this, you look at his history, same thing with this. When he wants to go somewhere, he's not going to let anybody else stop him. He didn't let Dan Gilbert stop him from going back to Cleveland, even though they didn't have a great relationship. Some of his inner circle didn't want him to go to Miami. He didn't let that stop him. And, LeVar Ball, Paul George not going there, if they don't get Kawhi, LeBron had made up his mind he wanted to be a Laker, and so he was going to do it. So, yeah, I mean, that's really how I took the whole thing.
The quickness in which this happened lets you know he had made peace with this decision. Maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, once the season was over, he started putting in play where he wanted to play, Skip, and they went to this island. And I use the analogy of huddle. When you break the huddle, you know the play you want to run. Well, when they broke that huddle, Skip, and everybody started going their separate ways, and the James family flew to Van Nuys, he was going to be a Laker. That was the play. Lakers on 3. 1, 2, 3, Lakers. That's what they had decided, Skip. And there was no, let's wait till after the 4th. Okay, let's wait and see what goes here. Because LeBron James is saying, I don't care what Paul George does. I don't care if we can get Kawhi. I don't care if we get Boogie Cousins. I'm going to be a Laker. And all this notion, he wants to stay in the East because he's scared of the West. LeBron James says, I'm the baddest man that walks the planet and plays basketball. Now, there's a new sheriff in town. You know what? It's going to get real interesting. It's going to get real interesting because now we ain't going to have to wait because, see, this is what I like. See, this is what LeBron said. I won't have to deal with the Golden State Warriors in the finals because I'm going to bust their head before we get there. That's what I'm going to do.
Did he say that? Really?
I don't know that he's saying all that.
Give him Kawhi and ride it in stone.
Give him Kawhi.
Give him Kawhi and ride it in stone.
Big if.
Give him Kawhi and ride it in stone.
Give us Lonzo, give us Ingram, give us Kuzma, and I'm talking about the Spurs, and it's done. You can have him.
They ain't giving
in his quitting self. You can have him. You can have him.
Skip, why you do that?
All right.
Skip, why you do that?
He still can play.
Skip, why do you do that?
He can quit.
That was your guy. That was your guy. You love Kawhi.
He had a bruised thigh. Played 9 games
It hurt.
with a bruised thigh.
It hurt.
Really? Oh, it hurt.
Yep.
You trust him?
I trust him.
There's a part of me that would love to see Leonard, he's no longer Kawhi to me, Leonard play alongside LeBron, because it is hard to play alongside LeBron. Yes. It was easy to play alongside and in the shadow of Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker, because nobody expected young Kawhi. You know, he's just trying to figure out how to play because he's a late bloomer. There was zero pressure and expectation on Kawhi Leonard, except when he stepped to the free throw line in Game 6 in 2013 and gagged.
Skip, he wasn't the only one. Skip, he wasn't the only one.
Gagged.
Skip, you did that, Skip. You just did that.
I had to.
Your guy, you see what he did? Yep. Even his guy that he loved so much, he brought up one of his weakest moments. I can't believe you, Skip Bayless.
Because I want to remind you what you're bargaining for here.
That's been 5 years ago.
He quit on the classiest organization in the NBA. Just remember that. He quit on a medical team that cleared him to play at midseason. The most patient, conservative medical team in sports said, you are just fine. You don't have a knee issue. You don't have a hip issue. You don't have a bone issue. You have a soft tissue bruise. And you need to play at midseason. And he said, no, I think I'm not going to play.
No, he said, no, I need to get this paper.
Well, he did try, and then it still was aggravating.
It still bothered him, Skip.
Yeah.
And then he had doctors in New York.
I'm telling you, you did him in. You were the one, the first to predict Kawhi Leonard is going to win the MVP this year. And he crumbled under those expectations that you talk about. So back to your initial point, I'm with you about the city of Cleveland. The feel-good story here would have been LeBron just saying, I'm going to ride it out and finish home. I'm going to stay in Northeast Ohio, and I thought there was a chance he would do that. But I do not begrudge him. I do not condemn him for becoming a Laker, because I think in his heart of hearts, he thought he was born to at least finish as a Los Angeles Laker. Because you grew up here, it's purple and gold. It's a great stage, the Staples stage. And it's Magic Johnson whose game most compared to LeBron's or LeBron's to that game, because that's his guy. That was his role model in sports, was Magic Johnson, more than Michael Jordan. That was always like an apple to orange comparison to me. But now he gets to, I assume, finish his career. And he committed for 3 years. And I assume this is going to be where he wants to drop anchor in roots and segue into his second career in Hollywood. It's a great move. I get all that. But the shock of shocks was that he did have the guts to say, I'm going to the West with no guarantee of any superstar help. None. Zero. And the tea leaves are starting to tell me he's ready to go it alone for 1 year until everything opens up next year. You could sign Leonard next year. You could sign Kevin Durant next year. Kevin finally said at the 11th hour, I'm going to opt back in for just the 1-and-1. So I just 1 year. I want to see how far we can take this dynasty in Golden State. I want to go win one more championship in Golden State. Who knows, maybe another Finals MVP for Kevin Durant. And then I'll see how it's going for LeBron in Los Angeles and see what's happened, see where they're headed with their kids, see what they built for me to join, because I think they're going to have to wait a year to get that superstar to join.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think the Spurs are sending Kawhi there.
I don't.
You know, I mean, especially now that LeBron is there. I don't. They didn't want to do it, obviously, in the first place. But now that you have LeBron, this season is going to be really interesting because, like you said, he's not going to have any other star, most likely. If they can win 53 games, and I know that's a big jump, but 53 games, get home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs.
He win the MVP.
That he might win.
You know what?
Actually puts
you would have a better chance this way.
Exactly. This puts him in better position
and by the way,
another MVP award.
Talk about pressure and expectation. So he's been to 8 straight finals. He was always the cakewalk king in the East. Everybody said, okay, you should win it every year. So for once, I think maybe he sat back and said, I might enjoy it next year being the quote-unquote underdog with the kids and a few vets that we've added and just see what we can do in the West that way, because nobody will expect him to win the West except you.
I do.
Well, you'll be the only
you don't even,
Superman,
you don't even believe
Let me ask you a question. Who's Superman partner? He had none. He took it out to everybody.
LeBron's favorite superhero, I believe, was Batman.
He don't like Batman. Batman, first of all, Batman is not a superhero. He ain't got no power.
He's got
Take
no
his bat belt.
That uniform, though, he had the uniform. He was the only one with the uniform.
He had a bat belt. Superman had power.
He had billions of dollars, right?
But
in your heart of hearts, you do not believe as currently constituted.
No.
Okay.
No.
But I do. Look, LeBron believes his legacy is set. We can talk all we want about the GOAT, rings, but he believes his legacy is
Win a
set.
title here is over. I don't want to hear you mention GOAT again. He won a title at Lakers.
Let's see.
Win a title.
Don't diminish Michael
Say it.
Jordan
Say
like
it
that.
right now.
Let's see what happens.
How many times can a guy say I won three championships, 3 locations as the best player?
That'd be huge. I want to see it.
But Michael Jordan just stayed home and said, I don't care who plays with me.
That's
I'll
the
just play with
thing.
anybody.
Jordan built something from scratch because the Bulls were a terrible franchise.
No, Jordan didn't build that. Jerry Krause built that.
No.
Jerry Krause
Jordan built that.
So who did
Scottie Pippen went to where? Central Arkansas or something like that?
Who drafted him?
Dennis Rodman went where?
Who drafted him?
But if you watch Pippen's game, he clearly learned so much from Michael Jordan. He would not have become what he did
no question.
not playing with Michael Jordan. So, but it's not a Jordan discussion, but I agree with you. It's great to see LeBron take on this challenge because this is a big challenge. And this year, though, I think is kind of a honeymoon. Like, there's really no
maybe
pressure
the weight's off his shoulders. Like you said, he's got a much better chance of making a run at MVP here.
Yeah.
Because
get them the fourth seed.
If you, and I don't care where you're from, if you believe you are a great actor, at some point in time, you got to spend time in Hollywood. Well, if you're a great all-time great player and you get an opportunity to be a free agent, shouldn't you spend a little time with the Lakers? I mean, you look at Shaq,
look at how many
Kareem, you look at Will.
You're right.
Oh, and see, we're not
so much. Most of the top 10,
especially the guys that's been free. Now, Kobe, they had to deal with. They traded Vlade to Charlotte. They were going to draft Kobe. They drafted Magic, but Kareem, a generational player.
Kareem pushed himself here too.
Yeah, Shaq.
Last quick point. LeBron was shrewd enough late last night to add 2 scapegoats to his roster just in case next year he needs somebody to blame. He added 2 JRs. Did he not add Lance and JaVale?
Look, I love getting Lance. This is Kobe and Metta World Peace. Kobe and Matt Barnes. Jordan and Dennis Rodman.
Okay, but the LeBron protecting media over here will be quick to jump on Lance or JaVale. If it goes south, goes wrong, look, where are they? It's their fault. Look at the knuckleheaded play he made. Look at the boneheaded play.
Before, though.
Huh?
I mean, even without those guys, there was no pressure on LeBron. And if they're terrible, it was going to be blamed on the youngsters. You know that.
Oh, so Michael Jordan have no scapegoats? So what they tell about Brad Sellers? In the big old Orlando
Nobody talked about Brad Sellers.
Nobody
talked about it. Nobody talked about him.
All right, guys.
Trust
Regardless,
me.
it was pretty special to finally see LeBron in that Laker uniform. But will LeBron win another title in LA?
Nope.
We'll discuss that next.
Stop hating.
No mercy. Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. We're back again tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.